All righty then. Exciting news. That's how he prefaced his email to me, and I guess just about everybody that he could think of that would be helpful in any way, which is exactly what a person needs to do when they're trying to do big things. So before I go any further, let me get him on the line. My friend John Clark, who has worked alongside of me in campaigns, and apparently that wasn't enough. How are you, John?
Good. I'd like to say thanks for having me on the show, Joyce.
Oh, my pleasure. And I received an email from you, I guess it was back on Tuesday, the first day of February, about your plans as a young person who grabbed a hold of the whole inspirational part of politics and worked on the Allen West and the Rick Scott campaigns and traveled all over the state of Florida. And tell people what it is that you came to the conclusion of. And first of all, how old you are.
Well, first off, I'm 17 years old, and the conclusion I came to is that the American people really don't get it. While many people who are involved with the Tea Party movement and the Republican Party even may have an understanding for how grave our financial crisis is in the United States, a lot of people simply don't understand what the consequences of not tackling the issue of our national debt and our deficit would be.
Mm-hmm. So now, how'd you get involved in that? I mean, for a 17-year-old, it's it's not like you're balancing the family checkbook and you're not paying taxes. Well, now you are, but you probably didn't have a tax bill for many years. How did you come to this conclusion?
Well, I came to the conclusion because it's something that my family always taught me about. They always taught me about living within your means and being fiscally responsible. It's also just something that I've been able to see through working in politics and staying up to date on current events, that it's something that's important, and that's why it's the cause I'm championing.
Mm-hmm. What do you want to see get done? I mean, you helped some people get elected. How do you see Governor Scott being able to alleviate the financial crisis in the state?
Well, I think he's going to have to make a lot of tough choices, and you've seen that with some of the issues relating to the state pensions and stuff. And I think I feel confident that Governor Scott is going to make the right choices, and if he doesn't, we're going to hold him accountable, and that's what the Tea Party movement's all about. But this PAC is really focused on federal issues in our federal budget. But first of all the stimulus programs must be ceased and defunded immediately. The stimulus was jam-packed with so much waste that it's unbelievable that we don't have millions riding by the White House every day. The second thing we need to do is we need real entitlement reform. This part is not going to be pretty, but it's necessary. We also need to eliminate all non-essential government spending. So many programs that have started out with good intentions we need to take a look at them and see what we can do with them.
Now, young people, are sitting in a different position than somebody in my age group, the baby boomers who are getting closer and closer to retirement. There's an unwillingness to have a discussion about the three major entitlement programs in this country, and those are Medicare, Social Security, and Medicaid. Are you guys going to have that discussion and bring your parents and grandparents to the table?
Absolutely, and I think it's important to realize that when Social Security was first implemented, it wasn't designed as a more or less a government pension program. What it was supposed to be was an insurance policy, because
for widows and orphans.
Yeah, and it was also for people who were retired, but they lived past their life expectancy, so they lived past what they had planned to save for. But what we need to do with Social Security is we need to have a serious talk about it, and what we want to do is make it so that everyone under the age of 18 will be eligible for Social Security when they reach 78 years of age. After that, Social Security eligibility age goes up 1 year every 5 years. So that way we'll be raising the Social Security age, but we're not going to do it so that we're taking people now who are looking to retire and telling them, oh, we're just going to take your benefit away from you, because it wouldn't be fair to them. So that's why it's something that's going to have to be done over time.
And there also, the expectation is that if you paid into this with the expectation that you would receive funds at the end, the government would be breaking more than a promise, a contract with the American people. Now, I'm open to, when people approach me with that argument, I always say, well, why don't we look at it this way? Whatever you paid in, I have no problem returning that. Problem is Social Security ends up paying people way more than they paid in, if they, especially by today's standards, where they're living to be 100.
Right. Mm-hmm. And that's, that's something that needs to be looked at as well. I mean, people have proposed privatizing Social Security, so it's really just an issue that we need to have a serious conversation about and look to reform.
Right. Another honest conversation. An honest conversation, I think,
Absolutely.
is what you're talking about. So what are you calling this movement? What do you want people to do? Certainly my listeners want to support your efforts and, give out some information.
Well, the Political Action Committee is called Restore Our America PAC. You can visit our website at www.restoreouramericapac.com. What we're looking to do is we're looking to educate voters about our nation's financial health in this off-election year. Because as you know, you see when it's right before election time, you see all the political action committees and candidates going out there with their ads and putting their talking points out there. And, that's when candidates go out and they propose new ideas. But what we need to do is we need to make sure that the newly elected members of Congress are being held accountable, that they're voting in a fiscally conservative manner, and that their constituents know how they're voting, and that they're not just hearing sets of talking points, a month before the election in 2012.
I love this kid. This is my philosophy. It matters more to be able to hold these elected representatives to their promises and also to give them ideas. They're representing you. You have a right. Well, you're not you because you can't vote yet, but they're representing me. And they have an obligation to hear what it is that I think is responsible funding. I mean, look at this debt ceiling. All of these guys ran on the promise that they would never raise the debt ceiling, that they realized the irresponsible nature of that. Then they get up to Washington, they have a few sips of the Potomac water, and the leadership, whether it's Democratic or Republican, tells them, well, don't be so quick to think you can fight that. We're going to have to raise the debt ceiling. And they all start hemming and hawing and hedging. And, well, first we'll get this and spending cuts. Let me tell you something, young man, because you're asking for spending cuts. They've been implementing spending cuts in Washington since I was your age. They've been not implementing them. They've been legislating them and then not implementing them.
Right.
So I don't want a promise of spending cuts as a trade-off for not raising the debt ceiling. I want the debt ceiling lowered. And we got to do that. These are the things, you're right, people have to be educated about them. They just have to go back to common sense. By Thomas Paine, Benjamin Franklin said more about the economy that made sense than I'm hearing out of Washington today.
Absolutely. Yeah. And one of the things the viewers can do to help out, or the listeners rather, is when they go to restoreouramerica.com, they can go to the donate page and they can donate money to the PAC. Mm-hmm. We actually have a commercial made right now which is going to advocate for not raising the debt ceiling, and we want to get that out on the airways. We're going to start locally in South Florida, and then we're going to take it around the country. Mm-hmm. But that's one of the things we're going to be doing.
Well, I'm on your side on that issue, so we'll go over to the PAC, RestoreOurAmericaPAC.com, you said?
It's RestoreOurAmerica.com.
That's what I said.
No PAC at the end.
Oh, no PAC, just RestoreOurAmerica.com?
Correct.
Okay, very well. Then we will do that. We will get some activity generated, and you, whenever you have something you want to premiere on the show, tell people to be looking for this commercial. You just call my producer, Brennan, and we'll make sure you get on, all right?
Okay, thank you very much.
You're going to feel like you're banging your head against the wall sometimes, John. You know that.
It's a tough fight.
It is, but you have youth, you have excitement, and that's what's missing in many ways from the movement that's happening in this country right now. You go to these tea parties, and we're a lot of old people. We need more young people. All right? So I'm counting on you.
Well, we got a lot of work to do.
You certainly do.
Again, the website is RestoreOurAmerica.com.
All right, take care. You already knows how to give out the website. I'm proud of John. All right.